Why am I a physicist? Well, part of it actually has to do with Star Trek. So when I was young, I loved the original series Star Trek. I loved the idea of exploration and understanding new things about the universe. I wanted to do something like that. I wanted to be, Mr. Spock, of course. I was so excited the very first time I measured something in the laboratory that had never been measured before.
Well, I was one of those kids that always wanted to take things apart and find out how they worked, and just curious about every mechanical thing around me. So I am very, very compelled to learn how things work. I will spend countless hours digging in as deeply as I can, and I've been that way since a kid. I'm just curious.
I started saying I wanted to be a physicist when I was in 7th grade. I read the book Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, and I didn't understand much of the physics, but I understood that they had a lot of fun doing it. That sort of captured me at that early age, and I think probably as a young girl saying I wanted to be a physicist, I got some raised eyebrows, which encouraged me. But as I learned more about the subject, it did become the wonder of it and trying to understand how the world around me works.
I love the problem-solving part of physics. I think there are so many different interesting problems, but I find that thinking about like the fundamental nature of the universe, what are we really made of, what is it really like to understand how the universe is built, and combining that with problem solving in math, and that's what I love about physics, the ability to answer questions about the nature of the universe using math.
So, William and Mary, presented a really exciting opportunity. It's a relatively small place, but it's a place where you can do both good world-leading research, but you can also interact with really promising undergraduates and graduate students, and teach.
Definitely shows up in my teaching because I get excited about the things that I'm teaching, just as when I was a student. Every time I teach something, especially to the physics majors, I'm fascinated. I learn something new.
The students, all of them learn. They learn at different rates. Some of them come in with more sort of experience, some of them come in with less. But you see this natural growth.
First, I love teaching at William & Mary because the students are amazing and they're really a highlight of my job. My undergraduate class are so enthusiastic. They ask us great questions. They ask questions that I would never have thought about asking.
The questioners are the most sort of important people. There's a sort of a saying in science that good science is answering important questions. Great science is asking the important questions. And then when you're in class, you get students who ask questions that are hard to answer.
It's the enthusiasm of the students that draws me into my lab, and I like the science itself, of course, but when you have somebody standing next to you that's excited to be there, you develop a relationship with them, and some of them stay with me for 4 years. They knock on my door when they're freshmen and they say, hey, I'd like to work in your lab, what can I do? And next thing I know, I turn around and they're seniors and they're headed off to grad school, and I know them very well.
The students are really the joy that we have as faculty members here. We'll have groups that are integrated between faculty, postdoctoral researchers, graduate students, undergraduate seniors, and undergraduate underclassmen, all working on different aspects of the same project. So it's kind of a team environment that builds up, and that's really one of the pleasures. Another advantage we have, at least in my field, is we have one of the premier labs in the country, one of the National Nuclear Physics Labs, Jefferson Lab, which is basically in our back door. My undergraduate students can take a class in the morning, go down to Jefferson Lab to work on an experiment or to go to a meeting, and come back in the afternoon. They don't have to displace themselves. They don't have to just visit the lab once or twice a year.
Just a pleasure to work here in terms of teaching physics. And I love, more generally, just kind of helping people understand what they want to understand and to get to where they want to go. And that kind of click when they figure it out is what is really motivating.
As kind of a prof, you're trying to replace yourself. You're trying to build people who are going to kind of replace you, become a better than you in some sense. So when that happens, that's like, okay, I've done something. That's quite satisfying.